Hi friends, and welcome to day 2 of solving multi-step problems. For today, we're going to actually be doing 3 workbook pages together. We're going to be doing 197, 198, and 200. And then on your own, you'll be doing an independent practice found on Google Classroom. You will not have to do any workbook pages on your own today. So we're going to jump right in. We're going to start with page 197. So Garrett is paid $4 for each hour he babysits. Mrs. Becker pays him for 5 hours of babysitting. So this is part 1. I'm going to get a different color marker or a pen rather, to do part 2. So that's part 1. Part 2 is on the way home, Garrett spends $9 on a book and $6 on a puzzle. Now we're going to need to write an equation to find out how much money Garrett has left from the money Miss Becker pays him. So again, friends, we're going to have 2 parts here. So we're going to have part 1, and then we're going to have part 2, and then we're going to have our answer. Okay? I'm sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see. So this is how we're going to set up our paper, because this is a multi-step problem, hence why today is called Modeling Multi-Step Problems. So step 1 is figuring out how much money Garrett got for babysitting. So if Garrett is paid $4 for each hour and he babysits for 5 hours, we're going to multiply the $4 times the 5 hours to get how much he gets paid. So we know 5 times 4 is 20. So Garrett makes $20 from Mrs. Becker, okay? But that is not the answer, because we need to make an equation to find out how much money Garrett has left. So that means he gets $20, but on the way home, he spends $9 on a book and $6 on a puzzle. So we gotta add that together, the 9 from the book and the 6 from the puzzle, to find out how much he just spent on his way home. So 9 plus 6 is $15. So that means he made 20, he just spent 15. But it's not asking for how much money he has left, it's asking for an equation to find out how much money he has left. So what we're going to do, friends, is we're going to combine the equation we used up here to get how much he was paid and the equation we used down here to figure out how much he spent. So that means we're going to have, I'm going to call M how much money he has left, okay? So I'm going to say M is equal to 4 times 5, because that's how we figured out how much money he made. And then we're going to subtract the number he spent. So we're going to subtract the 9 plus the 6, because this is how we figure out how much he has left. So then we can solve for M by saying 4 times 5 is 20, minus the 9 plus 6, which is 15. So that means M is equal to 20 minus 15, which means he has $5 left. Okay? So again, friends, 2 steps. Step 1, step 2, and then step 3 was writing an equation for how much he has left. Okay, so friends, this is a big problem. This is one of the first ones we've done that has multi-steps this week. So make sure if you have any questions you are asking, when you are taking time to try it out and see if you can work it out. Now, if we look at page 198, it kind of just talks us through different ways we could have modeled it. So if you liked the idea of the bar model, we could have done that, set it up that way. So for example, if Garrett is paid $4 for each hour he babysits and he babysat for 5 hours, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots in our bar model. We have 4 in each one. And then you could take the second bar model to figure out how much he spent at the store. But when we're combining multiplication and addition, the bar model kind of gets confusing. That's why I modeled it this way with you, and we solved it step by step. So we figured out how much he made from Mrs. Becker, we found out how much he spent at the store, and then we combined those to figure out how much money he has left. So if I were you, I would kind of focus on the model it this way, because like I said, when we start combining operations, it does get a little confusing to have a bar model. But if you don't have any questions, we are actually going to skip page 199 and move on to 200 together, okay? And then you'll do your independent on your own. So, number 7 on page 200 says, there are 4 vans and 2 cars going to a museum. Each van carries 9 people, each car carries 3 people. So they want us to write an equation to represent the number of people who travel in a van, then write an equation to represent the total number of people who go to the museum in total, okay? So it's not asking how many people drive in the car, but if we need to write an equation for the total number of people, we're gonna need to figure out the car, okay? So first I'm gonna give myself some organization. I'm gonna say this is the van, this is the car, and then this is the total number, okay? So in the van, we have 4 vans. So we have 4 vans, and each van carries 9 people. So we're gonna do 4 times 9. This is also when you can make the equal groups and draw a picture, but for this, I'm just gonna keep it with the multiplication facts. So write an equation to represent the number of people who travel in the van. And we're gonna use V to give us the answer. So we can say 4 times 9 is equal to V, the number of people who travel in a van. Now we can also go a step further and solve for V. So we can say V is equal to, and then we know 9 times 4 is 36, okay? So this is how many people travel in a van to the museum. Now we need to figure out how many people travel in the car to the museum. It's not telling us that in the question, but to figure out the total number of everyone who goes to the museum, we're gonna need to know the number of people in the car. So, to find the number of people in the car, we have 2 cars, and each car carries 3 people. So we're gonna have 2 times 3, and we'll call that C for the car. And we can say 2 times 3 is equal to 6, so there's 6 people in the car, right? So that means we can figure out the total number of people going to the museum by doing 4 times 9 plus 2 times 3 is equal to the total number of people who go to the museum. Now, that means we just plug in what we got for each of these problems. So for the van, we got 36. And then for the car, we got 6. And that is equal to the number of people who went to the museum. So 36 plus 6 is 42. So that means 42 people went to the museum. Okay? And friends, this is why it's important we stay organized. We can clearly see my van, my car, and my total number of people, right? So if you have any questions, please feel free to join the Google Meet and ask. If you feel confident, we can move on to number 8. So, Miguel has 28 markers. His sister has 33 markers. They together buy 3 more boxes of markers. Each box has 8. We need to write an equation to represent the total number of markers Miguel and his sister have. Okay? So, for this one, I think it's important that we take some notes. So, Miguel is equal to 28. I'm going to say 28m, just to keep markers short. Sister is equal to 33m. They buy 3 boxes of 8. So we need to figure out how many they bought. So if they bought 3 boxes, we're going to multiply that by the 8 in every box. So we know 3 times 8 is 24. So they bought 24 more. So that's not the answer though, because we need to know how many Miguel and his sister have. So what we're going to do is we're going to say the markers is, the total number of markers is equal to Miguel's, which is 28, plus his sister's, which is 33, plus we're going to use this equation to pull it out to see how much he bought, well, how much he and his sister bought at the store, to get the total number of markers. Now, for this one, we have a lot of adding to do, right? So we need to add, first we need to multiply, So we have 28 plus 33 plus 3 times 8, which we know is 24. So then we're gonna go and add the 28, 33, and 24. Which, if we add all of these together, is 85. So M is equal to 85 markers, okay? And this is a perfect time where you could have taken the scrap paper off to the side, set up your addition problems, and gone from there, okay? I just don't want this video to get too long, so I just did it off to the side on my own. But if you have any questions about this problem, you should pause here and join the meet to ask, okay? We have one more, and then you have your independent work. So, number 9 says, Mrs. Barker buys tickets to the school play. She buys 2 adult tickets for $8 each and 3 child tickets for $5 each. So that's part 1. Then she uses a coupon for $2 off the total amount. So we're gonna need to write an equation to represent what she paid for the tickets and all. So first we need to find out the cost, and then we need to take off the coupon, okay? And when it says write an equation, we're just combining the equations we use to solve for each of these. So the cost, she buys 2 adult tickets for $8 each, so 2 times 8, and then she buys 3 kid ones for $5 each. So first things first, we need to solve these 2 equations. So 2 times 8 we know is 16, and then 3 times 5 we know is 15. So the 16 is for the adult, 15 for the children. Now we're not done because the coupon has to come off still. So first thing we need to do is we need to add 16 plus 15 to get how much the total cost is. So 6 plus 5 is 11, carry the 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So the cost is equal to 31. Now the coupon takes $2 off the total. So if my total is 31, I'm going to take $2 off, okay? So 31 minus 2 is equal, excuse me, sorry friends, is equal to 29. But to find that, we had to take these 2 equations, and then, which would essentially go here, and then subtract 2. So that means the equation we would have had to use here to find the total cost is 2 times 8, which we pull from right here, plus 3 times 5, minus the 2, right? So again, friends, we're just pulling out the math we did for each step to write our equation, and then to solve for the 29, we would do the same thing. We would solve 2 times 8, which we already have is 16, plus 3 times 5, which we know is 15, minus 2, okay? And then that's how we get the cost is $29. Perfect. So friends, I know this is new. I know it's kind of confusing, but it's just important that we underline the important information as always and break these apart step by step, okay? So if you don't have any questions, you can move on to the independent practice. If you do have any questions, I'd be happy to help. And that's it for math today. So make sure you're getting that independent work done, and I'll see you guys later.